Hey, what's going on, YouTube family? It's your boy Malik Washington hitting with another video. How do you know that you are ready for an actual relationship and or marriage? Well, it definitely comes down to a whole different list of things, and I think we focus on that, but we don't focus on the foundation of just the maturity aspect of it and where your mindset actually is. If we had that all figured out, I don't think the divorce rate would be as high as it is right now. It's over 50%. The divorce rate is, and it's crazy. And the number of failed relationships, it's probably like 90% right now. You know, just in the regular dating world, it's quite crazy. But the thing is that it all comes down to people feeling entitled and a selfish mindset, in my opinion. And the thing is that how do you know that you're ready? You have to first self-assess. And one thing that I want you to self-assess is that when you get into a relationship, the main word that you're going to come in contact with is love at some point in time. What is your ability to love? Because your level of maturity will be determined by your ability to follow the word love as closely as possible and as often as possible. A lot of people dibble and dabble about love and they feel like it's just a feeling, but it's more so in action, and it actually takes work. Relationships take a lot of work. Marriage takes a lot of work. So I'm telling you, if you're not ready for the work, do not get into it. Before you get into a relationship, you should be asking a plethora of questions back and forth, both of you guys, not just because you want a relationship, but to be honest, the best time to get in a relationship is when you feel like you are satisfied and comfortable with being alone. Never jump into a relationship when you feel pressured or you feel pressed to jump into one because you really want one. That's the wrong reason to get into a relationship. If it comes about, it comes about, and that's a good thing, but make sure you're mature enough to be able to hold on to that. One thing that's about love, and I mentioned it in the #1 relationship tip for success, go and check that video out as well that I put together. And the tip is about love. I just go ahead and drop the bomb, but there's so much information, you should still go and check it out. But one thing about love that we have to understand is that it endures all, and true love never fails. Unconditional love never fails. So before you open up your mouth and tell someone that you love them, really check yourself and figure out, hey, am I ready? Am I ready to say I love you? Because when you say I love you, even though you're not putting a wedding ring on them before that, obviously you have to love them before you put the wedding ring on there. At least I hope you do. When you're in that relationship and you say, hey, I love you, that is a huge commitment. That's a huge commitment. Say I like you if you don't mean I love you. Don't just say it because that's something that they want to hear, or how that woman wants to hear things, or it's going to stroke your ego, or it's going to make her happy and it's going to make her feel good. That's not the reason to say I love you, because like I said, love endures all and it knows no failure. It's never failed. So if your relationship failed, your marriage failed, it's because you guys were not ready to endure all things that come about. Yes, understand that people are going to let you down. We are not perfect. The only one that's perfect was Jesus Christ that touched this earth. And that's why we have the Bible, and that's why he's teaching us so much through it. That's why he gave us the definition of love, and he wants us to follow that, and we're supposed to be Christ-like. But the thing is that we are all sinners. People are going to fail you. So therefore, if you put expectations and all of these high standards that are godly standards on people, your relationship's going to fail. You have to understand, and you have to have a presence of grace and understanding, and most importantly, love, because love conquers all. You have to have these things, because these people are going to fail you. There's going to be times where they struggle with pride and they don't swallow their pride and they're going to lie to you. There's going to be times where you're going to mess up and you don't want to admit it, and you know it's really going to hurt them. It's not that these things are going to be intentional, because they shouldn't be intentional. You should be asking enough questions before you get into the relationship and our marriage to understand these things about that person. But they are going to fail you at some point. They are going to hurt you at some point. And guess what? That is not the end all end game. Those things that you persevere through are actually going to make your relationship stronger. Unnecessary arguments and all of that stuff are not needed, even though people say, oh, it's great to argue, it's great to do this. No, I don't believe in that. If you can stay in the honeymoon stage for the rest of your life, do it. It's actually possible. Have a healthy relationship. You guys shouldn't just be arguing about anything and everything. Because if you are, it's coming from a selfish nature and not a selfless nature. Pick your battles. Pick your battles and do it in love. It's not boastful. Love forgives. Like this is a whole plethora of things, and it doesn't. When it forgives, when love forgives, it actually forgets. It does not bring up the past later on to prove a point or to win an argument. Wins and losses, like all of that stuff needs to be cut out, because you guys are a team. You guys are working towards marriage together, or you guys are married and living life together. Whichever one it is, you guys have to, if you say I love you and you say those vows, or you say I love you and you're in that relationship moving towards marriage, or in the future trying to get there, you have to know that love does not fail and it endures all things. If you're not mature enough to follow that and endure all things, obviously within reason, if there's abuse that is coming along within that, and there's, you know, just abuse, excessive abuse and things like that, then obviously you need to part ways. But if there's nothing that excessive going on in this argument, and there's hard times and there's financial downfalls and all that stuff is within life, and they're helping you grow, because you're not always going to stay in that stage. There's going to be a stage of breakthrough that God is going to bring for you and your family, or for you and your girlfriend trying to move towards, or you and your boyfriend trying to move towards marriage, or whatever it is that you guys are trying to do. Love endures all, and it's non-failing. You know, there's just going to be a continual growth in life no matter what. And if you're in a long distance relationship, or you're in a close distance relationship, and you're going through hard times, understand that there's a process to everything. If you want to be happy and you want to get to know each other better, there's going to be a process in that, and it's not going to be easy. It takes work. And I think sometimes we want to skip in our minds to the mid part of the relationship, or the 6 months to a year in the relationship, where we know a lot about each other and our tendencies and the way we look, and then now everything's just smooth. You've already met the family and blah blah blah. Everything is just going smooth. We want that middle stage of the relationship, at the beginning stage of the relationship, but you actually have to build that. You have to have a foundation. But it's going to pay off in the long run. Like, we're taking that time to actually develop our relationship. We're actually long distance right now, so it's actually a little bit harder. But the thing that I love about our long distance relationship is that it's revealing things. We are open with each other, and we accept each other's struggles and our downfalls, and we're helping each other get better through them. So with that long distance, it's actually opening up a whole plethora of problems that we get to fix now before we even get towards marriage. And that's a blessing to me, even though it's hard in the present time. I'm falling in love with the process. I have a video on that as well if you want to check that out. But I'm falling in love with the process of working with her and becoming better people, because I know in the long run we're going to be stronger men and women of Christ, and we're going to be helping other people do the same thing. But we're going to be able to enjoy our relationship, and we're going to be able to endure all things. You know, a process. That struggle is going to help you grow in strength. The Bible says that if you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is weak. So therefore, fight through those adversities, fight through those hard times, and allow love to endure all things and to never fail. I hope that makes sense. I love you guys. I truly mean that. So make sure when you say it, you actually mean it in all of your relationships, not just with your spouse and or girlfriend or boyfriend. But take your time with that. Assess who you're with, so you don't make the mistake of the wrong person, or making a commitment, or saying something that your actions can't follow. Take your time. Actually mean what you say. Let your yeses be yeses and your noes be noes. You guys enjoy your day. Later.